Hey, it's Matt. Today I wanted to talk about a fun project I built last night, as well as share the template with you, explain how to get set up, and then talk about why I think the era of personal software is upon us. So we'll get a little philosophical after I talk about this application. In front of me, I have a map. Maybe you could have guessed that from looking at the screen, but this map is unique to me because it shows my favorite places in San Francisco, the places I go the most. And it's pretty nice. I added in a lot of features and detail. For example, there's cover your eyes light mode, as well as dark mode, and that's reflected in the map as well. We get a nice like updating list of places that are in the viewport. We can scroll here. We have some price categories and detail cards both on the map and in the side nav. We can also filter by tag and search in real time. So this is all pretty nice stuff. I built all of this in. Agent got me 90% of the way there, and then I added all these details on my own, custom scroll bar as well. But these are the types of details I think that really can make your application pop. And so how does this app work? Well, it's already deployed, but this map comes from a framework called Leaflet, and I'm using a theme for Leaflet called Carto. And so Carto has light and dark themes in that map, and that's how I get this nice map theme. If you want to look up Leaflet or learn more about the themes, you can Google them or do web research with Claude. Under the hood, you can actually get free resources for converting addresses to coordinates, and that's what needs to happen on this map. But you might be saying, Matt, where's the data coming from? Well, actually, we're connecting a Notion database. So I have this public database. I'm going to continue to update it with other places I like in SF, but you'll notice that it just has an address. And so in our application, what's happening is that when these addresses get passed through, we're geocoding them. This is a term for taking the address and converting it to coordinates. Now, how did we do that? Basically, I prompted agent, hey, can you create a geocoding, find a free geocoding service and implement it in the app. And if we poke around, because I think it's important to poke around and understand how things work, you can see we're actually using this service called Nomenetim. Probably pronouncing that wrong. But this service allows me to geocache these results, or to geocode these results. Hopefully I wasn't saying geocache the entire time. I geocode and cache the results. And I also implemented a Postgres database. So the way that this application works, like the architecture, is that it's powered by this Notion data, but I'm syncing that Notion data to our database, so we're not repeatedly calling Notion. And similarly, we're not repeatedly geocaching these addresses. So what that means is that I can store, the latitude and longitude that we're getting from the address in the database. And then I could also, this makes the app a little bit more extensible because I can build data on top of this app in Replit, in the app itself. I think one thing I want to do going forward is add little emoji reactions to these cards, like in Slack, and then store that in the database as well, so people can interact with this a little bit more. And there's more of a sense of kind of community or something. And so, how did I get to this application? How did I get this to work? Well, I knew what OpenStreetMap was, which is, and Leaflet, which are two really good sources for maps data. I knew what the Carto theme for these tools were to get a visual output that was appealing. And then I just knew a bit about prompting, a bit about front-end development, the fact that you can create custom scroll bars, you can, use things like our visual editor in Agent to adjust the padding and adjust the elements in some of these components. And the fact that we had a Notion integration to build on top of this. And so my initial prompt to agent, I think, was pretty descriptive, honestly. I think this was potentially one chat. No, I think it was multiple chats, honestly. No, it was in one chat. My initial prompt to agent was pretty lengthy, but I knew what I wanted to build. And this was heavily inspired by one of my former coworkers. So you can see I actually started with different maps: Stadia, Adelaide, Smooth, and Dark. But I described in detail what I wanted it to look like, how I wanted it to feel. I wanted to pull from Notion. I gave it the columns that existed in Notion originally. And then we talked about geocoding a little bit. That was kind of addressed in some follow-up prompts. So I really approached this project from thinking, what exactly do I want? And I spent a lot of time clearly thinking about how that would work, and then building it out. Then it was really just for a couple hours applying finishing touches, making it feel good, making it feel smooth and nice, and then finally deploying it to have a live application. So how can you get started with this app? Well, if you remix this app, you're going to get something like this. And what I want to call out is that you'll have to create a database. So these secrets got pulled in from my previous application, but you'll need to populate the Notion integration secret and page URL. I have a separate tutorial on how to do that. I'll throw a card up on this video and link it in the description, as well as a link to our documentation so you can follow along with the existing tutorials on how to set all that up. But the gist of it is that you just need a Notion integration and then a couple secrets to go in these fields. From there, you'll need to recreate the database and just make sure you have a page in Notion with similar columns. But really getting started on this one, it should be straightforward because you can just copy this page since I'm providing it to you as well. I'll drop the link in the comments. Finally, I think the most important thing about remixing any template is that you should customize this and make it your own. If you don't live in San Francisco, like you're better off. So make it wherever you live. Use it for a different purpose. Use it as a map for, I don't know, like your local club to find cool locations that they might want to visit or something. Use it for a different purpose. Add the features that I told you that I think are missing that I want to build on. I think these are really fun applications that anyone can build. Also, be sure to change the about page. It was not made by Matt. It was made by you. So those are some next steps you can take. And now I want to talk a little bit about why I'm excited about this. This is the problem I'm solving with this application might seem kind of trivial. Like, okay, cool. Like my friends, I can send this to them when they want to come visit SF, and then I don't have to do that over and over again. But it's actually like a curated experience that I'm creating for people. Like, usually you ask your friends for recommendations, maybe get some like notes app, some shared thing, right? Like it's really special to be able to send someone like personalized software or something custom built for exactly the problem that they needed. And at Replit, we've seen this play out with entrepreneurs who are making a lot of money building apps like this. But, another side to that is that I think these types of applications can set you apart as a job candidate. They can set you apart in your business. They can set you apart as a good friend or just someone who likes building things and creating things for fun. And, I had this idea, sat down last night and built it in a couple hours and had it deployed, and then decided to make a video about it today. And so I think the power in Replit and the power in personal software, personal app creation is that you can create experiences from your mind, create experiences from your head, and then share them with people. And that idea, the idea that software or apps are now democratized, you don't need to know how to code to create applications like this. Note that I'm not saying you don't need to know how to be an engineer. We still need people writing code and needing engineers, but the experience I'm sharing with you did not require code. It did require a lot of other specialized knowledge, so I don't want to trivialize that. And I did know about a lot of these things from a history building and being in software development. So that's also something that shouldn't be spoken over. But the reason I'm making this video is because I think if you're watching this today and you're interested in these tools, can build things just as beautiful, if not more beautiful, and fun than these experiences. So go to mattsrex.replit.com, check it out. Check out how you can connect Notion to Replit and my tutorials on that. Remix this template, build your own map that's even better than mine, and let me know what you think in the comments. I'm excited to see what y'all will create with this one. So please let me know how it goes.